Hey, welcome back to Rust Sorter Garage. Back on the Purple Pig, and I've made some changes to the build. All right, we got a change in the wheels. We're running the Torque Thrust Ds now. They're just my favorite wheel. So, yeah, we're running them, all four. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't keep the Steelies on it. I mean, I know they kind of match the look of the piece of crap car, but for this car, I wanted to be more of a hot rod. Even if it is a piece of junk hot rod, these wheels make everything look good. I don't care how bad the car is. These make them look good. So with that said, the build has turned back the other way a little bit. More of the day two type hot rod than sleeper hot rod. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I fired it up with the exhaust that's on it, even the quiet side, it's not a sleeper. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, day two, which I'm actually, it's more my thing. I'm more of a hot rodder. When I build something from the 1930s, well, even my 37 Buick has D's on it, but I mean, I did some older Cadillacs, late 40s, early 40s Cadillacs. Those I put steel wheels on and factory hubcaps, even though they were all modern underneath. But hot rod's a hot rod. I'm more of a hot rodder. So that means the Torque Thrust Ds, putting hood pins on it, putting the external fuel pressure gauge on it, hopefully, as long as I can make that work. And I think I'm going to put a ratchet shifter in it. The column shifter works, but there's no way you're going to be manually shifting a column shifter. It's just, you know, if you put it in drive and go, that's fine. But if you want to throw it down into first and try to hit second without going in neutral or reverse or something, it's just not the best deal. So I think a ratchet shifter is going to go in soon too. And it is just about time for the swap meets, which is my happy time of the year. So it's going to be swap meets almost every weekend to go shopping for used parts, because I don't buy a lot of stuff new, if you haven't figured it out by now. Even these wheels, as beautiful as they look, these are a marketplace score. Yeah. I did have to buy the rears new, but they were only $135 new. I think they were each on Amazon, which is freaking cheap. And the tires are the same used ones I had on the rally wheels. So very little cash outlay. Even these, I got these for steel. I bought all four of these. I think they were like $400. I mean, can't beat it. So I had to buy it. So yes, they're staying on there now. So with all that said, now we'll get back to the turbo stuff. Okay, so next thing on the list, where's our list? We already crossed off exhaust and stuff. So yeah, we're going to do intercooler. Where's my lines there? There you go. Intercooler, tubing, and the blow-off valve. Those are going to be the next things to do. And I'm going to see here. Originally, I was going to have this go out through the inner fender well, curve around, and come back straight across. But I think, see my circle there, I think I can actually 90 off of this and make it through here and over to the turbo outlet. The only thing I have to do first is, because I've got the loud valve, I know I'm going to be running a vacuum line to that. And I want that right off the turbo, which would come off of that boss right there, which is not drilled and tapped. So first thing I'm going to do before I hook up all my intercooler lines is drill and tap that for 1/8 inch pipe so I can put a fitting on it. All right, I got my piece of the turbo off there, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, we're going to drill this thing for 1/8 pipe. You have to drill in pretty far, looks like. You have to go all the way in there. Okay. Hopefully we don't screw stuff up. Never done it before, so it is what it is. Just start out with a smaller drill bit and open it up. All right, I've opened up the hole, tap loaded with anti-seize. And don't ask me what size hole I drilled it to, because I have no idea. I just drilled it till it seemed right. All right, that's all tapped. I left the hole in the center to the size of my pilot hole, which is probably, I don't know, 1/8 inch or something. I don't know if I was supposed to drill that whole thing out that large of a size or not. Haven't looked at a turbo to know. But it's got a hole in it, so it'll work. Fitting on, put it back together. Decision has been made to make the intercooler pipes out of steel. I'm going to make them out of exhaust pipe. It's just faster and easier right now for me to deal with. So I've got 3-inch elbows. I was able to get in here. I'm going to be able to get inside the inner fender well there. So I just have my elbows on loose right now. Clamps are all loose. I can move the body of the turbo, and this is loose as well. So I'm going to see just how straight a shot I can get from the turbo to the intercooler inlet going that way, straight across. I'm sure I'll have to put maybe a little angle on the end there, but I don't think it'll be too crazy, and should be a lot easier to make than the exhaust system. At least that's what I'm hoping. It's hard to video in here, but I just cut the first piece. This guy here. And that'll go like that. And now all I need is a straight piece to go from here out to the elbow to the intercooler. And I think we'll be good to go. First piece is installed. Isn't it beautiful? No. But it works, so that'll work. So I've got my intake into the intercooler. Put that back on. Safety. And next will just be out of the intercooler. And we'll just kind of have an S-curve through here and up. Engine compartment is filling up. Alrighty, so with the one piece in, and nothing left to do, we'll cut up some more exhaust. And so you can make the last piece. All right, first piece. And once it's all welded together, you just weld a bead around the end so it doesn't blow out. got my ground clamp just laying on the pipe, and that was enough to get a weld on it, so you got lucky there. That is tight. All right, there's the exhaust tubing inlet tube. That'll work. The only thing left to do before clean up and paint it is I got to weld a fitting on it for the blow-off valve, and I got to put a couple welds on each end for the, what should I say, retention, you know, put a bead on each end so they don't come out of the couplers under boost. But first I want to take a look at the blow-off valve and see what I got here. All right, we got tools piling up. So I got a steel fitting, 50 millimeter blow-off valve, so I can weld that right to the exhaust pipe inlet. Here's the blow-off I got. And this is, I believe, a VS Racing one. It's not a, I don't think I bought an eBay knockoff. I think I bought the real thing, I believe. And it's got an aluminum flange in there I can save for another time. There it is. Pretty small. Okay. Is this from my wastegate? I don't know. Not a turbo guy. This doesn't look like it needs anything else. Just has, you know, goes to the flange, and if it builds up pressure, it should open up. This, let's go to my wastegate. What's in the wastegate? And what's in the wastegate box? I wanted to look anyway. Well, in here, I have more fittings. I should keep this stuff organized because I don't know what I'm looking at here. So this is all wastegate stuff. And I got a whole bunch of springs here. This is a VS Racing wastegate, I believe. Again, I don't think I bought eBay knockoff junk on this, but I got a lot of springs in here. I wonder if there's even a spring in the gate. I would have to think that is the lightest spring. I have a feeling, yeah, because you got 3 springs here. Well, I don't know, maybe that's not the lightest spring. Maybe it's the green one. I know nothing about this stuff. All right, I'm gonna have to find some people who know more than me, or at least do a little research and figure out what spring is supposed to be in my gate to start, because I don't want a lot of boost to start. All right, this piece is done. Put my blow-off flange on there and welded some ugly beads on the end, which is perfect because that'll hold it from coming out of the coupler. And yeah, I'm going to spray that down with some brake clean, put some black paint on it because this is a black paint kind of car. And then we'll come back. I have to figure out what the deal is with these springs. I'm going to open up the wastegate and see what spring is in it. This guy here, I put the fitting on the top. The only thing left is the O-ring, which I'm assuming is for inside this as a spare for the poppet. Can't tell if this uses an O-ring seal or not. Maybe I'm supposed to take it apart and put the O-ring on it. That's the kind of stuff I got to find out. So, I'm do some investigation. Come back tomorrow. All right, so next day, believe it or not, got some information. First off, this massive spring is indeed for the blow-off valve, which is pretty crazy that you compress this spring to fit in there. But I guess if it doesn't work with the light spring, that's what you got. Now, This has an O-ring seal in it. You see that black O-ring there? But from the video I saw, it showed this O-ring being used to seal the V-band seal, which is now on my nicely painted piece here, intake tube. So they're saying, and this is not the company, this is actually just somebody saying it, that you would stretch this and put this on here and then put this on. I guess it works. So yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. I thought that was a spare O-ring for this inside, but I guess I'm wrong, because without the O-ring, it is quite a sloppy fit. So we'll put that O-ring on here and put the blow-off valve on there. Other thing, I opened up my wastegate. This is what was inside. A double stack of springs, plus the 3 that came in the kit. Now, I saw a video where a guy opened up his. These didn't exist. The red one was in there. And then you have these separately. Now, he did these. He tested all of these with a handheld. You know, you put air pressure on it and see what they open. It's not really 100% accurate, because depending on where the wastegate is in the system and how much back pressure you have in the system, things can change. But what was weird is that both of these springs tested about the same, 6-7 pounds, and they do feel, about the same. This guy tested around 4 pounds, and I don't know. My hand test doesn't really tell you much. Obviously, these are sized so that you could stack them inside the wastegate. And I've got, this one's the same as that, really, 4 different size springs here. So as far as, and this one's a little taller than this one, as far as which one is the lightest, I'm not quite sure. I think I'm just going to have to wing it. I'm not going to put back in the double stack of springs, because I don't think that's the lightest way, or to say the quickest method of opening the wastegate. I want the wastegate to open up at the least amount of boost right now until I get this thing testing, and then we can do other silly things. So, I don't know. He thought this one opened up the soonest. This is the one I'm going to put in the wastegate, just this one alone, and we'll see what happens. All right, blow-off valve is in. Is that spring going to work that's in there? I don't know. We'll find out shortly, though, because now that that is all done, the next items are going to be the vacuum lines. So I've got to run a vacuum block I'm going to install, and I have to run lines from right off my compressor housing to the wastegate and to the loud valve, and then the blow-off valve's going to go to the vacuum block, which will be fed from the engine. And then I'm going to put a vacuum line up to my wiper motor to see if that will still work, because as far as I remember, that motor is still good. And I'd like to go electric, but I'm not going to do it right away if the vacuum motor still works. So far, so good. Everything is looking decent. And it doesn't look like a total catastrophe, I guess you could say. So yeah, getting closer. All right, so that'll be it for this one. We are getting closer, real close to getting this down the road and driving it, and doing some tuning and see what happens. If it blows up or if it runs. That'll be interesting. But In the meantime, I got to get out and do some other stuff. I just made a deal on another project that wasn't planned, a bit unconventional, but I'm excited about. It's not going to be the next project, but it's in the queue, like probably maybe second in line. I'll put up some information on it if you're interested. All right. So that'll be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all the new subscribers and all the existing subscribers. I hope I get some more. Hit the bell if you want to follow me along. We got lots of crazy projects. Not the normal stuff you see on YouTube, I don't think. But at the end, YouTube's huge, but what do I know? Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. See you soon. Later.